Hello, my name is Hope Marie Adegbaye. Thank you so much for paying for my modern buttercream class. Let's get started. So, we're going to be needing icing sugar, butter, warm water, milk, and flavor. Okay, so we'll start by taking the measurements. I'm using hot water, 7 tablespoons of hot water, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 tablespoons of milk, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll stir the milk properly. Then I'll put my icing sugar in the mixer. Then my milk goes in. On low speed. So it's going to have a grainy feel like beach sand. It's not going to mix to become like watery, but it's going to have this look. You can see how it looks. It's not watery, it's just like wet sand. So I'm going to scrape down the icing sugar from the sides because I want everything to mix properly. So we'll go one more time. So now my butter has mixed, my icing sugar and milk has mixed perfectly. It's time for the butter to go in now. So this is your butter, not margarine. You're using butter. You're using butter. The best kind of butter to use is either President or Ambassador butter. So I'm going to start putting this in one at a time and allowing it to mix properly. So I'll wait until it has perfectly mixed, then I'll put the next one. And your butter must be at room temperature. This is room temperature. You see that when I touch it, my fingers are going in. It's not like liquid butter. So that one has mixed perfectly. I'll put in another one. Next. So you have to be very patient, because if you rush it, you end up having lumps of butter in your buttercream. You don't want to have lumps. It will be very difficult for you to decorate your cake. So you see that the butter is mixing in beautifully with the icing sugar and milk, and is already rising. Very soft and fluffy. And just allow it to mix a bit. So I just want to put up the mixer and let you see what the buttercream looks like. You can see what it looks like. Very stiff, nice, and firm. You see this? It's ready for you to decorate your cake. So I'll put it back to just allow it to mix a little more. Then I'll decorate my cake. Okay, so I had a few butter lumps the previous time. That's why I put it back in the mixer to allow it to mix properly. It's okay if you have some lumps of butter. Just put it back in the mixer and allow it to mix properly again. So I think I still have a few. I just want everything to be perfectly smooth so that when I start decorating, I won't be battling with lumps of butter or icing sugar. So one more time. So our smooth silky buttercream is ready. See how it looks? So smooth, so soft, and it smells very nice and it tastes very delicious. Okay, so I'm starting to decorate my cake. I have 6 inches cakes here. Before you start, you have to use your spatula to mix this buttercream with your hand because you want to take out all the air bubbles in the buttercream. If you don't take out the air bubbles from the buttercream, you're going to have a difficult time trying to decorate the cake. So you can see that I'm just mixing it gradually, taking out all the bubbles from inside. It's going to take a while. You just have to be patient to deflate all the air bubbles. It's always easier to decorate a buttercream cake when you take out the air bubbles from the buttercream. So I have minimal air bubbles now. I can start decorating. So I'll put some buttercream at the bottom to help me secure the cake. Some buttercream in between. Make sure that it's centralized. So I'm putting the last layer. This is a very tall cake, say 6 inches tall. So I'm going to put my first layer of buttercream, and I'm going to be generous. I'm going to be very generous. The purpose of this buttercream now is to crumb coat the cake. Crumb coating is making sure that all the crumbs on the cake are stuck onto the cake with buttercream. So I'm going to be very careful because this is a tall cake. Start from the bottom. And be careful not to put your cake crumbs back into your cake. You can choose to use a separate bowl for crumb coating. So I'm starting from the bottom and gradually going all the way up. I'm being careful not to mix up cake crumbs in my butter. So I've crumb coated my cake perfectly. Level the top. And then use my bench scraper to scrape it. The sides. Okay, so I have this. I'll scrape up the excess from the bud and then wipe it up with my towel. And then I'll refrigerate the cake. Okay, so welcome back. The cake, I just brought the cake out of the fridge and it's firm, so it's ready for my second coating. And then remember that you always beat your butter to take out air bubbles before you put on the cake. So I'm just beating this butter and deflating it of every air bubble. So I'm done with the top. I'll put butter on the sides generously. Being careful not to take cake crumbs from the first coating to the second coating. So I'm being very generous with the butter. Very, very generous. And I'm making sure that my hands are straight. Because if your hands are bent, the cake will end up bent. You don't want your cake to end up bent. So my butter is going to come all the way up the edges of my cake. All the way up. All the way up. This is perfect. So I'll scrape it off now with my bench scraper. Just go I'll just keep turning it round and then fill up the sides that are not enough, like these places. I'll fill them up. This place. This place too. So I'll just scrape it off again with my bench scraper. Now my hands must be straight. Okay, so I have a tiny lump of butter here. I'll take it off and fill it up, and then go over it again. So I have a perfectly straight cake. I'll work on the top again, the top of the cake. And always remember to wipe your spatula and your bench scraper before you use. So I'm going over the top of my cake again, giving it one final touch because I want it perfectly smooth. So this is fine. One last time, I'll go over the sides of the cake. Remember always to wipe your scraper. So I'll still work on the bottom so it isn't even. So my cake is ready to go back into the fridge for it to set again. So my cake is out from the fridge and it's firm. It's time to give it one last scraping and then take off the edges. So I'll make sure my hands are straight as I scrape. Then the edges. With your spatula, your palette knife. Make sure your hands are straight and then wipe when you take off. So I could also take off this one because it's bulging up too much. So I'll take off all the butter on the and then wipe the board. So I have my naked canvas. Time to decorate. Okay, so it's time to decorate the cake with some chocolate art. If you want to learn chocolate art, I have a separate class for chocolate art. Okay, so I'm going to put some of the chocolate seals on the cake, so I'm just going to create a place for where I can insert the seal. So, okay, let me put this one. Then we can put some of the balls too on top. And you need chocolate for the balls so they can stick. So if you want to build on chocolates, you can also then let's see, I can put one here. Inside this. So the rule, you use chocolate to stick. Okay, so I can now decorate with some gold leaf. Just put little gold leaf around. Maybe I should put some on top too. So, I want everything on the cake to be gold. So if you notice, I'll put some. Ew. Okay. So this is normal while decorating. Then I'll just put some of these golden sprinkles. spray some. I think it's fine. So we have a beautiful Okay, so I just want to add some golden balls. Okay guys, so these are the final products from the class. Regular buttercream, you can see it's so beautiful, marine kisses, sharp edges, and modern buttercream with real butter. You can see it's so beautiful with the chocolate arts on it. Thank you so much for paying for this class. I'll encourage you to practice what you've learned. Keep practicing. I'd like to see your final product. Please tag me when you post them. Thank you.